Hello and welcome. This is Rooflemonger, and I gotta tell you guys, I'm really excited. The latest King of Fighters 15 trailer has dropped, and it truly has shattered all expectations. It has given us so much to look forward to. A release date, by the way, it's February of next year. Confirmation of rollback netcode, which we already had, but for whatever reason, some people chose not to believe it. A lot of looks at some of the new characters, the all new characters, some new characters that are returning that have skipped previous games, like Ash Crimson, who missed King of Fighters 14. A lot of how the gameplay works, and oh my god, just so much. What a great trailer. So for now, let's rock it in sequential order, because one of the first things we get here is it will have 39 fighters at launch. And that's a lot. Now, I thought it might be 50, like 14 at launch, but still, 39 is a lot. It took Dragon Ball FighterZ 3 years to get to 39 characters. Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, even with DLC, didn't reach that many characters. Like, 39 for a starting fighting game roster is a lot of characters. And it is confirmation that not everyone from 14 is going to return. There are definitely some people that are going to be skipping the game. But who's not skipping the game is all the most important characters in the franchise. Every saga is represented here. Kyo is the Orochi saga, K-Dash is the Ness saga, Ash Crimson is the Those That Came Before / Ash Crimson saga, and Shune is the start of our new Verse saga with King of Fighters 14 and now 15. We get our first look at the UI, and I love it. Nice, clean, and simple, no BS, very sharp, easy to read, very easy to understand. Character select screen also looking very sharp. I like it a lot. So now that all said, we also get a little bit of a dive into some of the meters and mechanics, how things are going to work in 15. So now the focus attack, which we've been calling it for a while now, has a proper name. It's the Shatter Strike. So this is a fully armored move that leaves you in a ground crumple state, which will lead to a full combo on hit, or if you happen to be airborne, it will wall bounce instead, which will also lead to a full combo. So either way, you're living pretty good, right? The thing is, it takes a full meter to activate. However, if you get the hit, looking at the meters, you can actually see that half the meter is refunded immediately. So if you actually connect with it, then it's only half a bar instead of the full bar. So at bare minimum, I don't know if this is going to be a frame 1 deal, but it'll give everyone a universal defensive mechanic / bully mechanic if you want to do some offensive pressure. I'm a big fan of it, looks good to me. The only question left at this point, I guess, is how do you do it? I'm assuming quarter circle forward, quarter circle back, and C and D, your heavy attacks together. That makes sense to me. Similar things have been done in that style in the past, but a good, strong, universal mechanic, big thumbs up. And now max mode. We finally know how max mode works. So first off here, max mode looks to be its own separate meter on top of the regular meter, and to enter the state, you need at least 2 bars. So definitely a change how things work in King of Fighters 14, but to be fair, max mode was way too strong in King of Fighters 14. So I'm kind of happy for the change, so it won't just utterly dominate the game the same way. Similar to 14 as well, if you start with 5 bars, meaning you're on your last possible character, you will have a much longer max mode duration. If your max is 3 bars, meaning you're on your first character, the max mode is quite a bit shorter, as you can see here with Mentenkun going into max mode. So a very powerful mechanic, sure, but seems better left to the end characters, your anchors, if you will. While in max mode, as you would expect, all EX moves are completely free. All it does is drain a little bit from the max. Going by the trailer, I'm inferring when you are on max mode, you can probably get about 6 free EX attacks for your combo. We also now know the difference between blue max and red max. So red max is when you're doing it specifically in the middle of a combo. Now the one thing to note here is the meter is much shorter than if you activate it with blue max. Going from this, you can probably get about 3 EX moves out of it. And in the end is basically very similar to how you'd want to use max in King of Fighters 14, although it costs 2 bars instead of 1. That said, I still think it's plenty fair. You're going to get your huge damage combos no matter what. and, you know, unsafe normal into max activation made everything safe anyways, right? So now you have to pay a little bit more of a price for the quality that you get. The one big thing to note just about max mode overall, specifically blue max, I guess, is since it takes 2 bars and 5 is the maximum, and it brings you down to 3, I'm assuming then when you're in blue max, that means all super moves cost only 1 meter. Because we've seen in many trailers, you know, level 1 into level 2 into level 3, right? Which is 6 meters, but if you can only have a maximum of 3 meters after going in the max, the only way that works is as if level 1 into level 2 into level 3, every single one of those only costs a single meter. But I guess time will have to tell on that one. Overall, very happy with the changes to the max system in the King of Fighters 15 compared to where it was in 14. Very happy. We have rush combos. It's basically just auto combos for babies. Don't worry. This isn't like Dragon Ball FighterZ where auto combos are a very big part of the game. It's just if you don't know how to play and you just want to smash buttons, that is exactly what rush combos are. That's all it is, right? They're not optimal combos by any stretch unless it's launched King of Fighters 14, because Choi's optimal combo was his auto combo, which was really stupid. But yeah, if you just want to mash square, there you go. But otherwise, don't worry about this too much. It's truly not that big of a deal. You'll be dropping these very early on for more practical stuff. Now here, coming up here, EX moves. This is truly maybe my most exciting thing. Like, oh my god, this is such a big deal. EX moves only cost half a bar. Like, wow. So long story short, EX moves in King of Fighters, generally, if you want to compare them to other games with EX moves like Street Fighter, EX moves in King of Fighters are stronger overall than they are in Street Fighter. They're a lot more like changing and warping in the game flow. They're very powerful, especially for certain characters. Yo, spoiler, top tier Athena, it's gonna happen. In King of Fighters 14, you cannot do EX moves on demand. You could only do them while you were in max mode, right? And now you can do them on demand. If you have 5 bars, that means you can do 10 EX moves back to back to back to back. This, simply put, is going to make the gameplay much more exciting because you're going to have much more powerful moves at disposal whenever you want. And it's definitely going to change a lot of the tier makeup from King of Fighters 14. Even characters that might be relatively unchanged or very close to unchanged from 14, the fact that they can do EX on demand whenever they want and at such a cheap cost is going to be a huge deal. Like a character like Antonov. Antonov was not a good character in 14, but EX on demand and so cheap, he had really good EXs. So that is going to be a huge deal for him. I know I'm basically gushing at this point, but trust me, this is one of the best changes. I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it. This is one of the best things that could ever happen to this game. As for the supers, always one of the best ways to end any given combo, it's about the same, right? Level 1's 1 bar, level 2's 2 bars, and your climax, your level 3 as it were, spoiler, is going to be 3 bars. So basically the same as it ever was, but yeah, combo structure with cheap EXs is going to be very fun for sure. So that's the gushing over that. I love all the meter changes. They directly affect the gameplay. It's a very meter heavy game after all, and just truly fantastic stuff. We do have a lot more to cover. We're hardly anywhere done. This, by the way, is the new arena stage, I think. Looks good. But as far as plot goes, hey, who knows? We got new characters, as you can see. God only knows where that's going to go. But then we go to more mechanic stuff, more gameplay stuff. How is the game going to work? Well, first and foremost, it's a climax beyond all expectations because, yo, rollback netcode. Even though they announced it months ago, some people still chose to doubt it for some reason, but now there is no more doubt. Rollback netcode is coming. SNK is a company with very troubled online play. Like, we all know rollback's better than delay-based, sure, but SNK delay-based was a step below. Let's put it that way, right? Loved the games, but they were very bad for online. Now, finally, KOF can be the true worldwide phenomenon it should be, because North America gets to join the battle online. Very excited the game will be launching with the online that needs to make it the true force that it should be. And my friends, the hits, they just keep on coming. We got a full suite of options here. We got proper rank matches. We got your casual matches. We got our rooms. By the way, KO 14 lobbies, among the best lobbies of all fighting game history. We have online training mode. Thank you, God, for that. Online training is such a big deal to me, and I'm happy it's here. The game will have full replay options. We got a bunch of stuff here like drafts and all that kind of stuff. Proper training mode, obviously. Trials, but don't expect them to be like King of Fighters 13 trials, just FYI. It won't be like... Well, I guess I don't know, right? I just doubt it. KOF 14 trials were not the KOF 13 trials. So don't expect your favorite YouTubers to make videos complaining about how hard they are, right? Gallery mode, we got all that kind of stuff here. We have an animated short, because why not? It's done up by the person who's actually responsible for some of the older Fatal Fury movies. So that's pretty cool. I'm down with that. I like those movies. We also have like a jukebox, which has hundreds and hundreds of tracks from the franchise's history, and KOF has some banger tracks, if you're not aware. KOF has some of the best music in all of fighting games. So that is super sick. Basically, when it comes to options, and yes, there is a full cinematic story mode as well, KOF 15 is coming feature-packed. There's tons of stuff to do and see. That is awesome. I love it. And with all this, and we're going to keep on going because the hits keep on coming, my friends. So here we get a lovely little shot of a lot of the characters, either starting up or doing their level 3s. And we also get a first look here, Ash Crimson. It's a little brief look here, but he's doing like a big Soulnado, almost like out of Mortal Kombat, giant green flame pillar. And finally getting a full look at Shune's climax here, busting out the verse power. We've seen parts of this before, but never in the full animation. And hey, it's the King of Fighters 15. We're going to get a proper look at the art that leaked, unfortunately, a few days ago. A lot of the characters, and we're going to talk about the roster in a minute, because there's a lot to talk there. And yes, we have a release date. It is February 17th, which in a way I personally am pretty mad about, because they announced not too long after this that Horizon Forbidden West launches the day afterwards. Horizon's one of my favorite games of all time, and the new Saints Row launches the week after. So I don't know how I'm going to juggle all these games. But that's a me problem, I guess, not the game's problem. Also, we already have our first DLC confirmed. The Deluxe Edition will get you the first 6 DLC characters for free, and if you pre-order on console, then you'll get early access for 3 days ahead of time. Want to shatter more expectations? Garou Mark of the Wolves Terry Bogard will be a costume. I love it. I was always hoping, I didn't dare dream, but we're gonna get it. And that's just a free bonus if you purchase the game early. Also, digital editions only, I guess, but Leona, her classic look will also be DLC. And man, just love it. Okay, after all that non-stop gushing here, I guess it's finally time to talk roster. So the game will be launching with 39 characters, and of those 39 characters, we now know 32 of them. So looking at the character select screen, which once again, I think it's a really sharp screen. I actually am a fan of it. We have most of the teams filled out. We have 3 teams, one with Ash Crimson, one with K-Dash, and one with, I'll just call her Girl Shune, because that's really what she looks like to me. They are teams with 2 characters missing each. And we have 1 fully unknown team. Now, we do know there's 2 more characters not on these screens. We have Hydern and the new girl with the ponytails. I have no idea what to call her. I think we can make 2 safe assumptions on this. Hydern is on the K-Dash team, and Ponytail Girl is on the Lady Shune team. So here's my reasoning. K-Dash, easy enough. Hydern has worked with K-Dash in a lot of the stories. It's really that simple. The 2 characters have mixed many times before. It's not too much of a stretch. That's going to be the case. As for the new girls being on a team together, well, simply put here, early on in the trailer, we see this. Girl Shune is talking to Ponytail Girl and saying specifically, I call the shots here. So, as you can see by the menu, that is the team leader of the team. So, I would assume, since she's talking to that character in that way, she is on the team. Now, as for member 3 of either team, hey, who knows? So many of the teams have been wildly shaken up at this point. Any speculation is valid because who has any idea? And for Ash Crimson, team leader as well, 2 additional slots. Like, you would assume Elizabeth, I guess, but who even knows at this point? And we have the final team too as well, which is just 3 blank spots. So 7 characters all in all are total unknowns. There will be more trailers in the future. We have these unknown characters to cover. And also, like, we still haven't added trailer for K-Dash yet, let alone Lady Shunei, let alone Ash Crimson, all that kind of stuff. So there's definitely a lot more to come. We also have these slots atop the character roster. I'm assuming these are the upcoming DLC. So all in all, we have 13 scheduled DLC characters. We do know that getting the Fantasy Edition of the game will grant you the first 6, the first 2 teams. So they'll be team-based, they'll be thematic in some way, shape, or form, I'm guessing. And 1 final slot all by its lonesome. So I gotta assume that's some kind of boss character. Geese Howard, Rugal, your guess is as good as mine at this point. But that all seems to be DLC, so therefore a lot of DLC is coming to the game. So 39 characters all in all, and potentially 13 more to come, making for 52 overall characters. And 39 characters at launch day 1, that's a hell of a lot for a modern fighting game, for sure, right? Even if some of the characters are somewhat pulled from their 14 variations, there's still a lot of cleanup, and a lot of characters just have like all new redone models, like, you know, Terry Bogard, Antonov, that kind of stuff. So it's definitely a meme at this point, but this truly did shatter all expectations for me. Roster-wise, gameplay-wise, everything, really. I have always been very excited for this game. You know, I've been flying this flag for quite some time, and I am all the more excited yet, because this is looking like it's gonna be one for the ages, my friends. So at this point, if you'll forgive me for a moment here to enter shill mode, if you want to know more about these characters, check the playlist at the end of this video. I not only break down all the trailers and all the stuff in the trailer, but I also give you a heads up of like the character story, their background, what they're all about, because I know for a lot of people, King of Fighters 15 will be their first KOF, and a lot of characters have a lot of history to go through. And that all said, my friends, when the time comes, you betcha, combos, guides, coverage, everything you'll need for the King of Fighters 15, and I just can't wait. It's gonna be amazing. Anyways, my friends, that is now the end of this video. So thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well. Go out and play some King of Fighters.
This is the love we make.